Welcome to an episode of Chat Sports Talk. And in this video, we'll kind of go a different direction than I normally take my videos. If you've been watching the channel for some time, you may notice I do NFL and college football pick and previews and go over college football realignment. Dived into baseball playoffs, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. I've done possible expansions for teams and other scenarios, talking about the move of the Coyotes of the NHL. And I'm going to delve into a league that I haven't touched. I'm going to touch the United Football League. No, not that one. This one. That's right, the current iteration of the United Football League, which is the third league to have this particular name. This is a merger from two previous leagues of spring football leagues, the USFL 2.0 and the XFL 2.1. That's right. These are two leagues that were competing for talent. So in order to kind of save money and try to save both leagues, they decided to merge, and they only took 4 from each to create their 2 separate divisions based off the league names of their former homes. And this is like I'll kind of get a little synopsis of behind history and kind of go possibilities of expansion. That's right, we're talking about expansion. I always see we talk about expansion. No matter what leagues it is, it's always expansion. I mean, the USFL had those talks, but I think the problem with the USFL, they had that soft release where everyone played in Birmingham, and then they had one team relocate. Who had the Tampa Bay Bandits relocate to Memphis, resurrect the Showboats. Each one of the USFL team names, resurrect, is the nostalgia to the original league in the mid-'80s that had the young talents of Herschel Walker, Jim Kelly, Steve Young, Reggie White, all started their careers in the USFL. And because of the early 80s and the labor disputes between the players and NFL, it offered a nice alternative, and it was actually being very successful, even though there's still a lot of turmoil with that league. It wasn't until a certain individual pushed for the league to be fall. There's lawsuit against the NFL, and their lame duck victory, where they only got $1 per team. They won the court case, but then the courts ended up bending over USFL for the NFL. So the USFL couldn't survive and it folding. They had the early 2000s where the XFL started by Vince McMahon. Yes, that one behind the WWE. Create very unique names like the Hitmen and the Enforcers. That league lasted 1 year, and the only thing come out of there was Tommy Maddox, who lasted briefly in the NFL with the Steelers. And then he decided to resurrect his league, but ended up having to shut it down during 2020 for obvious reasons. And then going through other financial troubles, other legal troubles he has faced, he decided to sell it to one of his former employees, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He ended up taking over the league, restructuring it, changing some things around. And that's why I call it the 2.1, because it's still the original 2.0, but then The Rock kind of put his spin on that. So it's a 2.1 variation. And they're actually playing in the cities they represent. Now, they were finding some success in their model, especially St. Louis. St. Louis has been a huge success story. The DC Defenders is another one. I mean, come on, they do the beer snake. Who wouldn't want that? And you have the nostalgia of the USFL. So what was left? The Birmingham Stallions, Memphis Showboats, and Michigan Panthers, the only teams left from USFL. The Houston Gamblers players stayed, but they took the XFL moniker of the Houston Roughnecks. That's your USFL division or conference. And the XFL Conference would constitute the Arlington Renegades, DC Defenders, San Antonio Brahmas, and St. Louis Battlehawks. You'd notice exactly where this league seems to be concentrated on. Texas and kind of like that central area, St. Louis and Birmingham, with little outskirts of Michigan and DC. You're missing Florida. You're missing the West Coast completely. So in order, I think, for the league to really thrive, you need to get hit in the markets that are part of hungry for football, and those have shown they can support spring football. And I think the first wave of expansion, I think you should go concentrate the West Coast. And if you go West Coast, you take that Breakers franchise that's based in New Orleans prior and move them out to San Diego. That way you get your foothold into California, into San Diego, another market like St. Louis have been shunned by the NFL, and see if they actually can thrive under that new regime. And then you put that team in the USFL Conference. XFL Conference, you go back up to Seattle and bring in the Sea Dragons, who was another XFL team that had some decent attendance numbers during this time frame, and shown to support the Dragons during the time frame, even though I'm not keen on that bright orange helmet, because when I think of bright orange, I'm thinking Miami, not Seattle. I don't know if they go with a recoloring, maybe go more like a teal route, even a bright green maybe. But hey, I'm not a designer by any means. I'm just an old guy just with a microphone in his face and a camera in his face just talking randomly. Anyhow, I think those two should be like the top priority. And then if you want to expand further, get like 16 divisions or conferences. That's what they're called. I always go divisions because that's what I fathom. Maybe they're looking to double up the size or get into a certain point. But then go back into Orlando, bring out the Guardians, bring back the Orlando Guardians, and then put their team somewhere up in the Northeast. If Philadelphia can make get the Stars can get their a lease worked out with either Penn Stadium or Villanova Stadium, maybe not Lincoln Financial for the Eagles, but try to get one of the other college stadiums to work out. I think it'd actually work out where you get the Philadelphia Stars started. Then you look at that way, so then you try to go, okay, what's some other locations? We'll definitely put a team out in Arizona, bring back the Arizona Outlaws. And then probably look somewhere in the South area, try to get another team in Atlanta, since you have a Center Bank Stadium that you can utilize. Come on, like the Atlanta Vipers or something, move the Vipers over, create the Atlanta Vipers. Do something along those lines where you kind of balance it out. And I don't think the UFL is going to expand too much. 12 might be the limit. But I think for them to really thrive, they definitely need to get out to the West Coast, get more teams there to kind of showcase their league across multiple time zones. Right now, no one on the West Coast really cares. I think a lot of I think Seattle might want their team back. I don't know. Fans of the Seattle Sea Dragons, let me know. But this is one of the things I think it could really push. Maybe they go up to 16, kind of do a 2 teams of the NFL support a particular team and kind of utilize the UFL as a training ground, a proving ground for young players, try and develop hone their skills a little bit more, get more of a pro experience before making the jump. Maybe it's more lines of getting those guys at, FCS level that don't get a lot of attention, maybe D2 guys. Some other FBS guys that don't get a lot of attention, especially those out in the MAC and Sunbelt Conference USA that don't get a lot of attention either. And I think it could be a good proving ground to kind of generate the talents for the NFL, and the NFL is able to tap into and kind of utilize and kind of help facilitate them, because professional football in the United States does not have a minor league system. NHL does. Major League Baseball does. NBA does. Major League Soccer does. All these organizations have a minor league system. Even NASCAR can have a minor league system. I think it's imperative for the NFL to find ways to promote safety, improve the game, stretch in the areas to expand the game. Maybe try to get into Mexico and Canada with the American-style football. I mean, that could be a possibility. Maybe work out a deal with the Canadian Football League as well, where they can share some players. Even though Canadian football rules are completely different than the UFL, NFL rules, because they have one guy in motion before they snap the ball. So like those who used to watch the Canadian Football League or watch indoor football, they have that one guy that just runs before the snaps. So we'll see how that plays out. But if you watch a few of these games, it's definitely interesting to watch the UFL or USFL, XFL matchups beforehand. It can be entertaining, especially if you're a St. Louis fan. I mean, those guys just pour in to the Dome to watch the Battle Hawks. Birmingham's doing extremely well right now with the Stallions. A two-time USFL champion. The time making this video, they're currently undefeated in the UFL. So definitely some areas, definitely some teams that have a fan base. I mean, like I said, nostalgia with the USFL brings in a lot of aspects. There's definitely a lot of markets you can really tap into. For me personally, I think I would go West Coast first with San Diego and Seattle. If you go a next round, definitely Orlando and probably like Philadelphia. Try and stretch out the footprint as best they possibly can. I mean, especially getting to Florida, you got Texas with the trifecta there. Getting to California with San Diego. If you go beyond that, you look at Sacramento. You can look at Omaha, Arizona, Salt Lake City, Hartford, NYC, maybe Columbus, Louisville. I mean, there's a few possibilities you really utilize to get in there to expanding even further, but I don't think the UFL is going to go past 12. The way the NFL Football League is right now, I think they're in a good space. I mean, they got good partners to televise the games. They have a lot of decent-sized stadiums that they utilize. I mean, even with Arlington Renegades, going out there to the Choctaw Stadium over there in Arlington, Texas, the former home of the Texas Rangers that's been converted. I could do the same thing in Atlanta, like I said, with Center Park. We'll see how this goes. I think that, going out to San Diego should be a top priority for this league, especially since San Diego got shunned by the NFL like St. Louis. I think they should be able to survive and be thriving, especially the brand new Snapdragon Stadium out there. Put a team back in Seattle. I think that's your 1-2 punch right there. And then Orlando, Philly. And then after that, we can debate all day on the last 2 or 4 teams you could really look at, depending how far you want to expand this league. But let me know down below, which cities do you think should return? Should we follow the USFL model and start bringing in more programs like that? Or should we go after some other XFL sites to start bringing them in? Do we bring back the Vegas Vipers and play them in that Cashman Field? Or do you start looking at other leagues like the Alliance of American Football and the original United Football League and look at those markets like Omaha, Hartford, Norfolk, Virginia, Sacramento, California? So that possibilities to expand the league. Let me know down below. Let's mix it up. Let's be civil. Let's be cordial. The more interaction we get, the better this video gets out to the masses, and they all get to listen to this crazy old man talk about sports. If you're still here and you like what I do, go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. I greatly appreciate it. And everything you can do really help this channel out and subscribe. Doesn't cost you a dime. Only thing you can do is hit that subscribe button, click that bell icon, turn on notifications, let you know next time I post any more content on my channel. And I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.